Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out XCN's price chart. But before that, real quick, I came across this tweet from ONYX coin and said Polygon and XCN are now available to trade on Bitstamp by Robinhood. So here's a question for you. Have you noticed that recently are planning to go live in Q4 of this year? And now we are also having a lot of coins being more and more available through different platforms. That I think might be something to think about. I believe a lot of these projects do know what is going to come in the Q4 of 2025, meaning this year. In the next, I'm going to say probably 4 to 5 months. Now, in terms of what the effects of having XCN more available is going to be, well, I think you know it. When we get a beautiful bull run, I think people are just going to have more access to XCN from different platforms, and that will, guess what, probably lead to some FOMOing big time, and that will cause the price to go up massive. So overall, I think this can be a bit of a positive news, but it's not really that much of a big deal, at least right now. Get me like a 100-300% move on the upside in ONYX coin, and at that point, this is going to show its effect big time. Now, having said all that, let's go on the live chart and see what is going on, because I do think now we might be able to be bullish. Okay, here we are on the live chart, and if you remember the last time that we talked about XCN, we were, I think, right around here, and the idea was that this move hopefully is going to continue a little bit more, and we can have like a 1-2, 1-2, and another 1 and a 2, meaning what? Yep, this move can continue for another 10% in order to finally reach to about this very important region, and then let's hope that we're going to get a very strong bounce, and that was actually our primary case. So what happened? We did continue our move down just a bit, but as you can see by the looks of it, we absolutely did not get to here. In fact, have we taken the lows yet? The answer is let's say by like a very small margin. Okay, fair enough, we have taken this low, but we definitely didn't take that. Now the question is, can this move on the upside in XCN be a bullish sign? First things first, let's go around here. You see, whenever you're having a sustainable move down, usually around here a lot of people are going to go short in hope that once more we get a continuation of our move down. However, the price actually has a tendency to not necessarily be cooperative with them, and as a result, you are once in a while going to see a very quick bounce, and that is actually going to activate a lot of stop losses, which will cause the price to go more up and up and up immediately. And this process, my friends, is called a short squeeze. And why am I talking to you about this thing? That's because, you see, XCN unfortunately has a habit of making a lot of short-term traders cry by having a massive short squeeze once in a while. I'm gonna say probably a lot more than the other altcoins, and I think this might be one of those short squeezes. And for example, the last time that we got something like this, yep, was this quick bounce. Another time was this very strong candle. Another time was this one, this one, this one, this one. How about this thing, this one, this one? As you can see, we have short squeeze here and there for you so many times in XCN. So again, that's why in a couple of videos back about ONYX coin, I said it specifically. Although I believe we're going to get a move down, do not dare even think about going short on ONYX coin, because odds are you are going to lose your money big time. And well, this was definitely, in my view, one of those examples. The question is, can we be bullish? The answer is yes. Why is that? You see, assuming that you want to say this point is the lowest low and we have taken all these lows right in here, then okay, fair enough. Here is what's going on in my mind. I do think that you are able to find a 5 wave down in here, and here is how I can argue that. You see, this can be a wave 1 followed by an ABC flat into wave 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into wave 3 correction for 4, another move down into wave 5. And pay attention, one more important reason to be maybe just a bit optimistic in ONYX coin actually comes down to the fact that off of the lowest low, what do you have? Maybe a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up into wave 3 correction for 4 to about this point. Preferably, I would say a triangle structure, and another move up into wave 5. So the fact that we are having off of the lowest low down here a 5 wave in my view, definitely can be an optimistic sign. But question, is this actually enough? I'll be honest with you, not really. Why? Let's go around here. You see, sure, if you want to say the low is end, then okay, from the lows, for example, around these areas, you have to be able to find a 5-wave up, but this is the key. Followed by that, you have to see a correction structure on the downside, and by that, I'm talking about a very slow and choppy move down. If we get something like this, fair enough, this can be a fantastic sign suggesting the bottom is in, and then at that point, you're going to be able to argue, you know what, maybe on a higher degree, this is 1, this is 2, meaning what's next? Yep, you know it, big move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. And in ONYX coin, what are we having so far? Let's more. Okay, so as you can see, this is actually quite a strong move down so far. And let's just real quick compare it timing wise to its previous move on the upside. As you can see, this phase down so far is taking us about 22 hours. On the other hand, this move up took us about, let's say, yep, 22, 23 hours as well. So if you want to compare these two phases starting from the same point and ending to about the highest high, they actually took the same amount of time, meaning by no means this is a slow move on the downside. So what is it that I'm trying to tell you? You see, in XCN, I'm willing to bet that in here we actually have a bullish divergence. Let's go on 15-minute time frame, and there we go. Okay, there we go. We absolutely have it. As you can see on the live chart, these are a series of lower lows. However, in MACD, what do you have? A series of higher lows, meaning what? Yep, we are having a beautiful, beautiful bullish divergence. And here is the line for it. Now, here's the situation. Because of this bullish divergence, I do believe that in ONYX coin, we are going to get a bounce, maybe in order to reach to about these areas. So, you know, let's consider like a 10% move on the upside. At that point, realistically, I actually want to see maybe something like this, having another move down in order to get to about these levels. And for example, in terms of Fibonacci's, let's just have some targets. Okay, we can very well retrace to about the 78% all the way down here, about, let's say, 1.09 cents. And then if from this point you see a very strong bounce, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in order to take this important high, you know what, great sign. At that point we can be bullish with a bit more confidence. In my view, a lot, and I really mean that, a lot actually depends on what are we going to do right in here if you want to say the bottom is it. If not, and we are looking a bit bearish, and instead, sure, maybe this is a 5-wave, but on a higher degree it's going to be, I don't know, let's say into like the C leg of an ABC flat, then okay, from this point you do want to see still a bit of a bounce, let's say by the next 48 to 72 hours, but then you want to see a move down. So far so good. However, after it, you're not going to see a very strong move up immediately. No, instead you're going to see a very slow and choppy bounce followed by another continuation of the move down. If you see this, that's going to be a really, really bad sign in ONYX coin, suggesting unfortunately the final low is still not in yet. Now, overall, do not get me wrong, I am actually very much optimistic, and I am absolutely able to get the subwaves to work if I want to say this is a 5-wave down, and we just talked about it earlier, right? This is a triangle into 4, and this very well can be another move down into wave 5. Do not get me wrong, but again, my problem in ONYX coin was never the fact that I wasn't able to get the subwaves to work. My problem, if you remember, we said it also in the previous video, comes down to the fact that I'm not seeing off of the lows some optimistic signs suggesting the bottom is in. And by those signs, again, I'm talking about having a 5-wave up followed by a consolidation pattern. And if we see this, trust me, I am going to fully ignore this important support area and call for a fantastic move up. As long as I'm not seeing that though, okay, maybe I should be a bit patient. And like, do not get me wrong, let's go around here real quick because I'm going to talk bullish to you a little bit. See, whenever you are having a bit of a resistance area, at that point you need to actually pay attention to how many times are we touching this region if you want to know whether this is like a very strong or maybe quite a weak resistance. You see, the idea is that if we reach to about a resistance and touch it more than, let's say, 2-3 times, something like this, at that point, chances of getting a break of this thing is simply going to increase by the minute. And the next time that we're going to get to here, the idea is that we're not actually going to get a solid rejection from it, and we might very well get some sort of a short-term reaction, but then that's going to be in order to have a very strong move on the upside in order to finally get a breakout of this area. And why is this important? Because in ONYX coin, guess what? From what area did we get this move on the downside in the last couple of hours? From, you know what, this very important short-term resistance area. And question for you, how many times are we touching this now? Let's just have a quick count. Where is it? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times are we touching this region, and I'm willing to bet if we have the power to form a correction structure and get another move up, this time we are going to get a break of this thing, and at the same time all eyes should be on this beautiful looking descending channel in ONYX coin, which the higher band of it is at the same time going to be around this important region. The moments that we get a break out of here, our move up, in my view, in ONYX coin is going to get accelerated quite a bit. Why? Simple reason. You see, when you go on some higher time frames, for example, in daily charts, you realize that this thing looks awesome. Why? Okay, you see, off of the lowest low, we are having 5 up into 1, correction for wave 2, probably an ABC flat, a strong impulse into our wave 3, and in my primary case, to about this point is going to be the end of our wave 4, meaning what's next? You know it, another great move up into wave 5, and I do think this is actually going to happen by the end of this cycle. Now, if you really want to be bullish and you want to, for example, consider some extension structures in here, fair enough, you can say this is 1, 2, and the next move is going to be absolutely jaw-dropping into wave 3 and 4 and 5. And even if you don't want to consider that, okay, let me just tell you this. In my view, one way or the other, either to about here or maybe to around the current point, we do have a bit of a correction into 4, meaning what? By the end of this cycle, we should most likely expect another move up into wave 5, which the bare minimum target for it is going to be taking the highs about, let's say, 5 cents area. But you know, I think we probably go quite a bit higher than that. So if you do not care about short-term price action, I'm telling you right now, XCN is actually in a great place for buying. But if you care about what is happening in the last couple of days and what might be next in short term, okay, all eyes on this move, and let's count for now at least on a decent bounce, followed by a move down and then a very strong move up. And if we have the power to get to this level once more, this time I think is going to be a bit different, meaning we are going to finally get a break of this region, which is going to be an awesome sign. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in ONYX coins chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.